So Jalen Milroe gets asked a question, and it's about him, a quarterback, and how he wasn't the starter to start with. And former Alabama offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien suggested maybe a faster place and maybe a more comfortable place for Jalen Milroe wouldn't be a quarterback.
Well, I'll tell you, Alabama fans critical of Bill O'Brien. He's been holding that for a while. We're going to wait until the stage is really, really big and everybody can clearly hear me. Yeah. But the former offensive coordinator that was really criticized at Alabama didn't even want me to play this position.
Yeah, and you're right. That's the biggest stage you can make that comment on. Really haven't heard that all year long. There was a little anger.
That's an FU.
Well,
I mean, major FU. And I don't blame him.
It kind of built up, right? So it started with, he wanted me to move to tight end. Well, how'd you feel? How would you feel if somebody told you suck?
Yeah.
But it ended with who got
Tennessee said Dunaway did.
Yeah.
It didn't make me feel good.
It ended with who got the last laugh. So obviously it is very personal there. I mean, when you say who got the last laugh, I mean, that's super personal. So, look, and this is what this guy has kind of built his career at Alabama on. Even the shirt he wears says, "Let all the naysayers know."
I don't have Bill O'Brien's back here, but the fact of the matter is there were a lot of people, and I even think internally in the program, that thought Jalen would probably transfer, and they didn't necessarily have a problem with that because I don't think anybody saw where Jalen Milroe was to where he is now.
Dude, they brought in Tyler Buckner.
Yeah. That's all you need. That guy's playing lacrosse next year.
I mean, do you bring in Tyler Buckner? And we brought this up on our live airport show last night when Brown and I were just killing time drinking beer and eating caramel popcorn.
I miss that.
Yeah,
that was fun.
So we're sitting there. It's not as much fun without you there. I'll be honest with you. Brown and I are.
I thought about doing one.
We support cast.
I didn't know how to do it. Like, because I used to be able to do the Twitter. What was the Twitter live thing?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it.
I forgot what it was called, Periscope or something.
Yeah, Periscope, yeah.
But I could do that, but I don't even know if you can still do that. So I was going to do one because I figured you guys were on the flight, but I didn't know how to connect.
Yeah, and then when we were doing it, you were on the flight. But we brought this up last night. Do you think, and we're just going to take Jalen at his word that Bill O'Brien did say those things, do you think Bill O'Brien on his own goes and has a conversation with Jalen Milroe about moving to tight end or defensive back?
No, I don't.
Without other coaches all the way up to Nick Saban being in the discussion? Bill O'Brien doesn't have that authority to walk in there and say,
Nick Saban, the F you? What?
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine walking to Saban's office saying, hey, by the way, Jalen Milroe's moving to tight end? Whoa.
Who brought that up?
Whoa.
Who brought that up?
He's moving to tight end.
So my point is if Jalen's really pissed, at some point he's got to ask Nick Saban, what did you know?
Well,
when did you know it?
You don't know that these conversations haven't happened, though. I mean, this could have already been something Nick Saban has discussed with him, and Bill O'Brien doesn't have a chance to because Bill O'Brien is now the offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots, not the Alabama Crimson Tide. And let me just say this.
And by the way, real quick, before you get to your point, there are some people that can't admit they're wrong in life. I think Nick Saban has been through enough where he could say, hey, look, son, you have beat the odds. I'm so proud of you. There was doubt. There was doubt in this coaching staff, and you have proved us wrong. I wouldn't be shocked if that conversation took place.
I just, and I saw some of this last night, Dunaway turn kind of personal with Bill O'Brien. And I hate that. And I know that, look, I get the business we're in and the way football works and college athletics works, that, the fans are going to make it personal. And from everything I've heard about Bill O'Brien, he's a stand-up guy. He's a good dude. He's a good family man. He's a good football coach. He was wrong in this decision, right? But, man, I hate to see, it get kind of personal with Bill O'Brien about, this is why I hate the guy. And this, I mean, Bill O'Brien was not a great offensive coordinator at Alabama. I'm not going to pretend that he was, right? But his offense reached a national championship game and produced a Heisman Trophy winner.
Oh, but let me ask you this. If Alabama fans are true to themselves now, if you don't lie to yourself,
right,
until the second half of the Ole Miss game, did you Alabama fans really believe in Jalen Milroe?
No. I remember us doing the shows. I mean, right after the Texas game, I think Alabama fans, and I wonder if we'll ever get like the E! True Hollywood story on the South Florida game. Like, I don't think Nick Saban will ever tell you that he thought what was going to happen would happen, right?
For instance, Joel Klatt believes that was a coaching move for the Alabama fan base to see what you have, stop bitching and moaning. This is what we have behind Jalen Milroe. He's the starter because I'm the greatest coach of all time. He's our best option.
I think it was beyond that. And I don't know that Nick Saban gives two you-know-whats about what the fans think, right? Maybe he did it to get fans off the guy's back, but I also think he did it so Jalen Milroe could see this team needs you, right? You operate as the starting quarterback. I'm going to show you you're the starting quarterback, okay? Because I could take a lot of people and go in and beat South Florida, and they showed that. I'm going to show you what this team needs. This team needs you. And Jalen Milroe was able to stand on that sideline and see that. Now, I'm sure there was a lot that went into it, and I'm not going to pretend like if Tyler Buckner Lance didn't go in that game and tear it up that he wasn't about to be the starting quarterback. He was.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you go back to Milroe at that point immediately.
I do think that staff knew Tyler Buckner wasn't going to tear it up.
Yeah. I mean, I think Nick Saban probably had seen enough of Tyler Buckner. He had a good feel of what that was going to be. So you give Jalen Milroe a ton of confidence that he's the starting quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, there were even, there were conversations that Tyler before that game had the yips.
Yeah.
And like down on the field wasn't really able to even like complete passes in pregame warmups. And I think the coaching staff was alerted to that. But even with the yips, they were like, hey, we're rolling with this guy.
He was having a nervous moment.
Yeah.
About to be the starter at Alabama.
John said Bill O'Brien's struggling at New England this year. Not great. Well, that roster's awful. Yeah. And I just don't know that Mac Jones is going to be an NFL. So, well, pretty sure he's not going to be an NFL starter. Some people are saying they've heard the opposite about Bill O'Brien, and that's fine. I'm just telling you what I've heard. I don't know him personally. I've never had one single dealing with the guy.
It was a big stage, a big opportunity for him to make his feelings known. But there are times in life when you make a comment like that, and then you go out and play your next game or you're on your next big stage, and sometimes those comments can come back to haunt you. Any concern about Jalen Milroe in this game not playing up to the standard he has gotten to at some point this year?
No, because I think this mindset is what drives him. I think he said it on our show before. He is driven by proving doubters wrong. He knows he's been doubted. He knows that a lot of people saw Tua Tagovailoa and Mac Jones and Bryce Young play before him and didn't think he could be that guy. So I think he knows that he is doubted and is setting out to prove people wrong. So I actually think this is what drives him as a football player.
Yeah, look, and he's playing outstanding football. I mean, over the last 5 games, 10 touchdowns, only 1 pick. I think both of these quarterbacks are going to play with a chip on their shoulder. It's what drives Jalen Milroe. But I think the biggest criticism for Michigan up until this point has been, is J.J. McCarthy any good?
Well, people think they play.
To your point, J.J. McCarthy's the other quarterback.
Yeah, and people think they play around him a little bit just because of the fact that when they can run the ball 30 straight times and win a game, they're fine running it 30 straight times and winning a game.
Yeah, and I forgot who I asked it to earlier this week. I said that, this would have been a crazy question in September or October. Who's got the quarterback advantage? And I think everybody says Milroe has the quarterback advantage right now. But really, if you would have asked that in October when J.J. McCarthy was still a Heisman Trophy candidate, people would have said you're insane.
No, you're right. In fact, if you stack all 4 playoff quarterbacks, there are some people, maybe the majority of them, will put McCarthy 4th.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And it's not like a shot at McCarthy. I just hadn't, he hasn't had to put a game on his shoulders yet. And the 3 other quarterbacks, I've seen them play at an elite level and win games.
I think I would absolutely, and I think most people would put McCarthy 4th.
Brock Ewart had him too.
Yeah.
But behind Penix?
Yeah.
So he went Penix, McCarthy. Did he go Quinn, Milroe?
No, he went Milroe and then Ewers.
Wow.
Talk about not getting respect, our boy Quinn Ewers.
Look, and I do agree with this point, though. Like, when Quinn Ewers is on, you're like, oh, my God. Like, you even saw a flash last year in Austin against Alabama. Like, you can just see his God-given talent. When he is on, he is unbelievable. But he does have some moments where he is inconsistent. And that was Brock's point. Like, the most inconsistent of the bunch is Quinn Ewers.